Okay, what about now? I should be okay now. I should be okay now. There we go. Audio input capture. Okay. There we go. I can hear myself. I can hear everybody else. We're good to go, man.
He's heating up.
Send it out, man. Share it up. Share the stream up. We're live. We're in the building. We're coming to you direct. We got a couple things to talk about. It's been a hot second, only a hot second since the video was dropped. We got 171 in the building. I told y'all I was going live tonight if you watched the full video. Let me share this out to the different communities that I belong to, the ones that know I would never switch up. Yeah, Kason left not too long ago. This is a dark day, man. And I'm gonna tell you this right now. We should really be like sad and somber. Like, I'm sad. I don't know if y'all are sad, man. This is a sad, sad day. This is a sad, sad day. People saying I'm finna get nasty. Yeah, Rage too. Rage left earlier today. Ah, man. Yeah, let me go ahead and tell the communities to pull up on me. Pull up on me. Link below. Y'all, while y'all are sitting here, go ahead, share it. Go ahead, send it out to the community. Send it out to whoever you feel the need. Either needs to see this or needs to apologize. They either need to see this or they need to apologize. Shout out to Samaj Music for $20.
You can't fool a real nigga. You can fool them. You can fool the people that are not paying attention.
Yo, it's about to be a lot of nasty stuff going on. Shout out to Samaj Music for sitting in the 20 to say let's go. Shouts out to Is Nazi 101 for saying
He's on fire.
It's celebration time for $5, ladies and gentlemen. Shouts out to all the people with the super chats going on. Y'all know how I'm coming. Super chats are live. They're locked. They're loaded. They're live. They're locked. They're loaded. They're 3 L's. If I count up all the Faze members that hopped up out of Faze this week, it would be too many L's. I'm not even gonna lie to you. All right, I'm sending this out. Got that going out on Twitter. Got that going out on Discord. Got that going out so we can start the Discord. Let me see. What song can I really, yeah, I can play that. I can play that. That's the song that I wanted to overscore this music. We're about to get started. I'm just sending out one last thing to my Instagram. Live now, pull up. Tell the people to pull up on me. Oh, I should probably send out a community note, right? Yo, my team, the behind the scenes guys are going crazy right now. Everybody's going crazy. No, I'm gonna be honest with you. Turn my mic up. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think that's your phone, gang. No funny. No funny. Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think anybody saw this coming outside of a few people. And I personally feel like I can say this stuff now. When I made that video about a year ago, when I made that video about a year ago, I had people DM me. I had candid conversations with some people, whether it be people that came on the show right after, whether it be people that came on like the Let's Give It Up podcast, all that other stuff. I had candid conversations with people, and people were telling me that, like, yo, I'm not gonna lie, gang, you not wrong. They was telling me, yo, gang, you're not wrong. A lot of stuff that you said, I agree with, but they didn't want to fall on the sword because the public backlash would have been too much. They already had too much steam behind them. Faze was popping. You can't outwardly say some of these thoughts and opinions and feelings, but I'm going to keep it 100 with you. And I, not kicking those folks back in. Sometimes we got to call spades spades. And I think the thing that happened this week, these past couple of days, is the cherry on top for the reason why streaming will not be the same going into 2026. It literally just won't be. Streaming will not be the same going into 2026. And I think that it is very fitting that Faze Banks, the one that sat there on live stream and lied to me, lied to you all, lied to everybody that was sitting there watching Ron stream, sitting there watching Lacey stream, sitting there watching all of that. I think it's fitting that he is the one to cut these young men's legs off. Now, I want to preface this with a couple of things. Them brothers going to be fine. They going to be A-okay. I think they are going to be A-okay. But I said it at the end of the video that I just dropped, and I'm going to say it again. Banks, why you lie to me? I'm going to say it again, just like I said it at the end of the last video that I just put out, Banks. Why you lie to me? Why you sit there and lie to Ron like that? Why you sit there and lie to Lacey like that? And I noted during that time that when I said what I said and people were reacting to it in real time, I noticed who in the Faze collective was quiet, and I noticed who was more verbal and outspoken, like, yeah, we're going to get this guy. We're going to get this guy. Yeah, we're going to get this guy. We got this guy. We got this guy. And then there were some people who just kind of sat there and just, Because what is coming out as we speak and what will come out tomorrow, and best believe we are going to cover it tomorrow, validates everything that has been said about Banks.
You can't fool a real nigga. You can fool them. You can fool the people that are not paying attention.
So if you haven't already, and you don't know my slogan, you don't know my motto, go ahead, get your popcorn, go ahead, get your drinks, get all your snacks. We're in for a hell of a night as we go through all of this stuff that has happened to the Faze collective.
If you're near a convenience store right now, any type of 24-hour store, go into the store right now and put your hand in the cash register for no reason. Their money is your money as of right now.
And everybody who is in them comment sections, I need them to come front and center. For real, I need them to come front and center. I need them to come and apologize. I stayed up till 4 a.m. last night hearing folks out, listening to apologies and stuff like that. I need you to come front and center. Come on. And I'm not even that type of person, for real. I'm not even that type of petty of a person. I'm not that type of petty of a person. Shouts out to Great CJ for becoming a new member. Turn the drops up now. You don't want the drops up.
If you're near a convenience store right now, any type of 24-hour store, go into the store right now and put your hand in the cash register for no reason. Their money is your money as of right now.
Nah, you don't want the drops up, chat. Listen. Yeah, I sat there and listened to a bunch of stuff. I wanna talk to y'all about what's going on. I don't know if people saw. I want to dissect everybody's rants. I want to dissect the new stuff that Plaqueboy Max's cousin said today. There's a lot to get into. Let's head over to the whole Plaqueboy Max live stream where he goes ahead and breaks down everything. Y'all ready for this?
You know how long I've been waiting for this? Woo, I'm about to make a name for myself here.
Hello? I can't be this old. No way. Chat, why didn't nobody say nothing? Why y'all didn't say nothing? I'm sitting here talking to myself. Why y'all didn't say nothing? Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm one of the oldest in the game. I ain't gonna lie. We all did. I'll restart the video. My bad. Oh my gosh. When you get up to my age, it's a little crazy. All right, here we go.
But we had a sponsor. There was a sponsor for that day. And niggas didn't end up doing the sponsor. Game night. Yes, he was there before. Niggas didn't end up doing the sponsor. There was difficulties with the sponsor. Yeah. After that happened, according to the assistants and staff of the creators, because I'm not gonna lie, I just really don't remember. But they said that Faze has pulled everybody for the rest of the month and sent niggas home early. Right? This is the first time where in my head I went, huh. Okay. So how much control do we have here? And how much control do niggas have over us? If that makes sense. Right? I'm gonna say that one more time again. How much control do we have here? And how much control do they have over us?
The reason why Max is going through this right now is because I don't know if even y'all remember. This is just what was told, and we'll go back to that video too. During that live stream, the way that it was presented to us was that, you know, Banks really rocked with these guys. Rage told him about these guys. He really rocked with these guys that were a part of the streaming community. These were some cool guys to be around, and, you know, you need to really, really pay attention to these guys. And after getting, you know, ingratiated into what they got going on, Banks was like, yo, I fuck with them. I rock with them. Like, let's put some money behind them. They doing lit shit. We want to see them do lit shit. Everybody, you know, yada, yada, yada. Let's pipe them up. Let's go crazy right now. Let's go absolutely crazy right now. Let's go absolutely crazy right now. And then, as time goes on, it comes to realize that that's not true. That's just not true. Which I think everybody who didn't have dick in their ears during the time realized that you don't get anything for free. Nothing is ever for free. It's an old saying. My mom ain't never said it, but it damn sure is old. It's an old one for sure. I don't know. It's an old saying, but if it sounds too good to be true, guess what? It probably is too good to be true.
Oh man, not again.
And so this is a moment in where Max is realizing, too good to be true seems to be too good to be true.
Move into January. Y'all know I started 365. Someone at Faze had introduced me to my old manager, Brandon. Shout out, Brandon.
Shout out, Brandon.
From about November to January. Y'all probably seen him, tall white boy with hair. You feel me? Yeah, 153. Oops.
Shouts out to the 550 in the building. Keep sharing this. Keep liking this.
Falling out with person who introduced me. And person who introduced me tells me, according to my assistant and my creative director at the time, who were sitting in on all calls because they're on my team, tell me I have to fire my manager and get rid of him, or I can't be here.
Now, I'm going to explain this to y'all. I'm going to break this down, what happens in these industries with these young kids. And it's because I've seen it. What happens with these young kids is that they start doing their streaming game, and, you know, they're spending their time making their clips, they're editing all this other stuff, they're throwing shit at the wall, and one day, stuff starts sticking. And anybody that's ever done YouTube knows about this same exact thing. You go from getting 40 views to 140 views to a video that does 500,000 views. And then you get a consistent 1,000 views. You get another banger video that goes off. And now you're at the 20K views, the 30K views. You're at all these views per upload. You go from streaming to 3 people to 10 people to 200 people to 2,000 people. Stuff starts escalating fast. People start inboxing you. All this stuff happens. And you're trying to get a hold of it. You don't know what to do. So you go, first thing you do, everybody does it. They go get their friends. They go get their friends. They get their homeboys that they know. And they say, hey, you run this, you run that, you run this, you run that. You run this, you run that, you run this, you run that. Then when you get to this level, entities start to pop in. And they start offering you a bunch of money. We've seen streaming take on an influx of a bunch of money this year. From a whole bunch of organizations, from a whole bunch of different production groups, from a whole bunch of different media groups and media outlets. We saw that all this year. And so then you have this mix of these corporate entities and these people that you knew. And you're getting so filled up by these corporate entities, stuff is flying by you. But the people that you knew from a long time ago, they hear certain things. They see certain things. They pull out the calculator and they start mathing certain things. And the math don't make a lot of sense. And in one of these meetings, somebody says something that contradicts what the corporation says. They kind of squash the situation right there, but behind closed doors, that corporation says, oh, we got to get rid of James. He a problem. We gotta get rid of James because James is a problem. Shouts out to the 600 in here. Let's keep sharing and let's keep liking. Let's keep sending this out. We got to get rid of James because James is a problem. Because James is starting to highlight and acknowledge how we're scheming and scamming and flim-flamming. That's what James is starting to do. And so you'll see friends of these streamers go back to the beginning and come back to now. See who's been hanging around. I got a new cameraman. I got a new assistant. I got a new creative director. This person that was in their streams and their videos in the beginning is not here 2-3 years later. Some of that is, we moved on. This person had a life, X, Y, and Z. Some of that is whatever corporation backs these guys in 2025 is telling them, yo, so-and-so is a snake. You got to get rid of him. You got to fire him, gang. And when shit like that starts happening, that's when you should become weary.
When they're the person who introduced me. Video proof as well of this meeting. They were there. This is information my assistants are just telling me. Here. When they're the person who introduced me.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Video proof as well of this meeting. They were there. This is information my assistants are just telling me. After that happens, I stayed. Shout out to Brandon.
Shouts out to Brandon, man.
The best for me, wanted me to be as good as I could possibly be. We're still cool.
Yeah.
You know, I got introduced to a new manager, as I know. I come back to LA after New York. All that happened in New York, and you know, everything's cool. I'm cool with the boys. You feel me? Me and the boys cool, but it's just like.
Shouts out to the guys, man.
It was a weird air for a little while. You know what I'm saying? But everything got patched up because at the end of the day, we bros and we love each other. Like, you feel me? I want to make that known. Ron, I love you. Jason, I love you. Adap, I love you. Rage, I love you. Sylvia, I love you. Kason, I love you.
Shouts out to the bros, man.
I'll give you one part. Gang, you see that little townhouse? You see that little townhouse that Max was in? And Faze? They tried to make that nigga pay 20 bands a month. What the fuck?
And I'm going to fast forward a little bit of this because we saw this specific portion about the townhouse in the video, and I kind of already addressed it. But this streaming industry is just mimicking Hollywood. It's mimicking the music industry. It's mimicking industries that have already existed before. And especially if you watch like the P. Diddy documentary that just came out or any documentary about all these other record labels from the past, and you've done your due diligence and you've done your knowledge, the game and gimmick that they just played on Max when it came to the townhouse is not a new game or not a new gimmick. That's an old saying. My mom did say this one. It's called been there, done that, bought the t-shirt. What happens is when you start to pick, poke, prod, ask questions, when you start to pick, poke, prod, and ask questions, and you get weary, hesitant, I'm moving out, I'm antsy, and this, that, and the third, I want to do stuff that does not line up with the corporation, they start revealing all these numbers behind the scenes as to how they boosted you in your career and talk about the fees that you owe. They start putting dollars and cents on stuff that you never thought was dollars and cents. And they jack up the price. Remember when Gil said a couple months ago, yeah, my staff here is $4 million a month. And niggas was like, $4 million a month? $4 million a month? For $4 million a month, I better be putting on Stranger Things Season 5. What are we talking about? For $4 million a month, I better be putting on Stranger Things Season 5. So when Max's cousin talks about 20,000, 200,000, thousands and thousands of dollars for a living area, that motherfucker better be the Chateau Elan or some shit like that. That's the only way that that's gonna make sense. The reason why they do stuff like that, though, is to try to squeeze you. They want you back in line. They want to put you back in your place. And it's as simple as that. Let's continue. Skip forward through some of this.
Kenny can't say. But FBD, you ain't signed that. The shit.
That's very important too, because Max is pretty much alluding to the fact that, yo, what he's saying is truthful. We're gonna watch his stream from today about what Banks said about Max behind closed doors. This is gonna be crazy.
From Faze miss into whatever FBD's talking about, that happening is what made me realize, damn, it's time for me to man up. And if I want to be what I one day want to be or plan on being, I gotta bet on myself. No matter what happens to me or what niggas might try to do. So yeah, as I know, I ended 365 shortly after moving into the new house.
Shouts out to the 700, man. Keep boosting it up. Like it, share it. Let's get it out there.
There's too much going on behind the scenes shit. Streaming every day. I'm gone for a couple months. I'm able to get my mental health back right. I'm able to get straight. I'm able to pause. It was always straight. But I'm able to realign myself as a person and just be able to, you feel me? Be good. And I'm not saying all that was from being in, but I was just fucked up in a lot of different ways. I just had to get myself right. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
I come back.
Comes back from the 365 hiatus. The one from earlier this year. He nervous. Y'all can tell. Hey, body language doctor. All this nail biting and pausing and all this other stuff that Max is doing right now. This is how you, as a man, and not you as a man, speaking to you as a man who's watching this from the TV, because I think it's like 80% of people that watch these live streams are men. Not you as a man, but this is how men avoid uncomfortable conversations. This is how they act in situations in which there's real emotion behind it. I just wanted to point that out.
Peace. Sorry to rewind the story to fuck y'all up. Y'all remember when Lacey got kicked from Faze? He really got kicked from Faze. He got kicked from Faze because, according to the assistants and the staff and the cameramen, they said that he had missed a video shoot or something. And we were missing video shoots. And so he actually got kicked from Faze.
Now, y'all know how strange this is. I'm not going to stay on this one too long. Y'all know how strange this is. Whether it be RDC, AMP, 2 Hype when they was going on, you know, whatever other group that you want to talk about. SSB, I don't know. I'm just throwing out names. Capaholics, fuck. And, you know, I'm just naming names at this point. We've seen situations in which everybody isn't at all the video shoots. Everybody isn't in all the promos. Everybody isn't in all the brandings. Everybody isn't in all the stuff, right? Everybody isn't doing everything at the same time. That's not a big deal. Everybody doing all the same things at the same time. We need all 6, we need all 8, we need all 10. That's never a big deal. But for whatever reason, this particular time, it was such a big deal that they went to the extent of kicking somebody out. Doesn't sound very friendly to me.
Granted, he was allowed back in. Couple, what's it called later? Because niggas all had combos, but yes.
Fairs.
So my point of this is to tell y'all this. We had no control. There was no control. It was like we're puppets. At least that's what it felt like. You get what I'm saying? And then we had Faze camp. I'm not gonna lie, for the past like 2 months, I was on some shit like, damn, like, am I really gonna leave? Am I gonna stay? Bro, I'm not gonna lie, I was like just on the fence with it, because at the end of the day, I fuck with these niggas, but we don't own this shit. We don't have control over our careers.
Yeah.
As much as we should have. Why? So I'm gonna be honest, bro. That whole Faze camp happened. When we went to Faze camp, I called up, I ring Yaya, I ring, you feel me? Yo, bro, move my shit out. After Faze camp, I'm leaving. And I'm gonna be totally honest, bro. Now that I'm here, I want to sit here and at least apologize publicly to my boys, because it caught them very off guard. But the reason I did this was because I needed to make a decision and stand on it. I knew if I had niggas move shit out, there's no going back. I needed to make this decision and not have any return. You get what I'm saying? Was because at the end of the day, if I came out and said this shit or said whatever the day I left, now it puts them in a position where they look crazy for staying when they wanted to stay. And at the end of the day, if they wanted to stay, they want to stay. You feel me? Like, that's their career. Doesn't matter. That's why I still do shit with these niggas, because it's like, whatever. You want to be there, you want to be there. It's not, bro, that doesn't have to do anything. That has nothing to do with me. I free myself. Hopefully they can figure their shit out one day. You feel?
Now, I do think this is very interesting. Max is talking about the fact that, you know, they're saying that they can't. Oh, Max's audio is low. I'm gonna turn me down for the sake of it. Max is saying that, you know, he didn't out anybody simply due to the fact that if he outed himself, if he outed the reason as to why he left, he knew how that would have been taken by the community. He knew that they would have looked at Ron, Lacey, Silky, Adapt, Rage, Kason, everybody else. They would have looked at them like a certain way. They would have looked at him crazy. They would have looked at them crazy for staying, and it would have been more turmoil than necessary. Because ultimately what he's trying to portray, though, is that the business was not right. The business wasn't right. Based on what was supposed to be done, what was supposed to be said, what was supposed to be had, all these things, the way that they were handling them, they were basically puppets, et cetera, et cetera. We're going to take a quick aside just to let folks know. Oh, hold on. Damn, we got some monologues, man. There's some people on Twitter who ain't never tweeted before. There's some people that ain't never tweeted before. As a little side note, intermission for a second, Your Age Gaming announced as well, because we were waiting for these two dominoes to fall 3 hours ago. Didn't make the video. Your Age Gaming left at Faze Clan. I'm sorry to any supporters who we let down. Thank you for letting us come in to do our things to try to save this shit. I wish it didn't have to be this way, but that chapter in my life is forever closed now. Forever closed now. He made it very, very clear. And then let's look at Kason. You know what? You know what's funny? Didn't Banks say he was gonna stream today? Where's the stream at? Kason says, left at Faze Clan. This one really hurts. I've bled Faze to the core, and I'm proud of what I did and what we accomplished. I'm really sad it's come to this, but I have nothing but gratitude. I will continue to run and grow at Faze Esports program as it is a different entity. Shouts out to Faze Esports.
Good man.
I don't know. I guess this is...
He's on fire!
Shouts out to Faze Esports, man. Let me go ahead and get him a follow. Shouts out to Faze Esports. Now, at this point, all eyes are pointed at Banks, and we really got to listen in. I think people got to understand how much we really got to listen in. Shouts out to the 887 in the building. Keep sharing, keep liking, keep subscribing, keep commenting. Let me know how you feel about, this whole situation. And I'm waiting for some people to come through with their apologies. I'm waiting for some people to come through with their apologies. I don't think people really remember, gang.
Before he talks, do you think I'm cringe?
This was a year ago. July 11th, 2024. Hey, that's me. That's me, Ron, and Lacey having a conversation. And at the end of this conversation, Banks was so smug magug, boy. I'm trying to tell you. Let me go ahead and get him in here.
Was never supposed to live in a Faze house. The original idea for a Faze house, we were letting Rage kind of run with that, and Rage put together that house on his own with his friends, which are Max, Silky, Kason, right? They're down there. They come up to LA, and everybody all of a sudden.
Don't call me a monkey, Zello. Do not.
We'll get to this in a minute, but
Call me a monkey,
any
bro.
sort of comment that could have ever been made about like some sort of plan or a disingenuous house. Literally going to cost because of some sort of plan or a disingenuous house.
Do not call me a monkey. Facts. Yo, don't call me a monkey, Zello. Do not call me a monkey,
any
bro.
sort of comment that could have ever been made about like some sort of plan or a disingenuous house.
Ugh.
Literally going to cost because that it did happen in such a genuine way. This is going to cost us mad bread. So doesn't make sense.
Talking about the genuineness of the house, man. Ooh.
That's fine. I know you were addressing it, but
Shoot up their
Chad, do you
schools the
got-
next day. Okay. Where is she that you have?
I'm trying to get to this point.
Balin Levine's here. I'm gonna go grab him. Balin's here. You know who that is? My homie, by the way. He here. He texted me.
Come on. I'm
not talking to him. There's Cliff Armin. These guys.
Who cares? Who cares about this? Yeah, look at this grown man. Look at this grown man.
Street Fake Crash.
Look at this 40-year-old. Look at that 40-year-old, chat.
I'll bring Balin down here in a minute. But listen, I appreciate your time. With all due respect.
Let's phase the. Come on, get to the phase the fuck up part.
Away because we're all here right now. But you're just gonna look the same as everybody told me when we.
Chad, you
Yo,
got.
stop muting. I'm gonna look for another stream. I gotta get out of Lacey's stream. He was about to say you're gonna look as crazy. Oh, I got the whole stream here. He was about to say you're gonna look as crazy as everybody else who also told him that he was doing the wrong thing, man. That's exactly what he's about to say. Shouts out to the 900 people in here. Let's get into what Banks has to say about this whole situation. Because we talked about snippets in the video, but we ultimately didn't get to the whole thing. This brother is crashing out. He feels some type of way, man. He really does. Hold on.
Merry Christmas. From Banks, formerly known as Faze Banks. What a fucking terrible day. What a terrible year. I left Faze 5 months ago. And this wasn't for a narrative. This wasn't for the camera. This wasn't for Twitter. This was very, very real. It was off the heels of some Twitter drama, and the boys were, getting blown up in their comms and in their chats. And as we all know, in this world, wacky, strange world of streaming, that's really all that matters.
Why? I promise you, I'm live reacting to this with y'all. Why is he acting as if we weren't there? In the video that I made earlier, I referenced the fact that this hasn't been the best year for them. Not necessarily just because Max left the org. I wasn't talking about their individual streaming numbers. They had great numbers. Brother, you left after that whole Rain and Tempo situation where somebody got outed for having sexual relations with somebody who was supposed to be like 16 or 17. Does he think that we're stupid? Does he think that we don't remember that stuff? Because we were all here. That was off the heels of that. Not some Twitter I don't know what he's even talking about right now.
These streamers, all of them, Every last one of them are forced to appeal to their comms and their chats and narratives on Twitter. And if they don't, they lose viewers. If they don't, they take a hit financially to their career. And this has a huge effect on who their friends are, who they're in relationships with, all of it, everything. The way they treat each other online is completely 100% based and rooted in the feedback that they get in real time from chats and comms. So again, as somebody, an old man, 34 years old, you guys never let me forget it, who no longer makes content, who doesn't have a stream, who doesn't have his own platform, it's impossible for me to create a narrative or control my narrative or really respond. Not that I really give a fuck to anyways.
Hey, somebody in the comments say he left because of the crypto shit. That was also around that time. When Aiden Ross was like, yo, bro, or when it was coming out that he was a part of a crypto rug pull with Aiden Ross. Yeah, that was all a part of this same exact time.
But yeah, all this drama is created, and we get on a call 5 months ago, and the guys are like, listen, we're over the drama. We think it's best if you just like publicly step down from Faze, just to cool down the drama online. I reacted very emotionally to this. I was obviously took it very personally and was offended because, again, I used my entire network, every dollar that I've ever made, everything that I've ever had, this brand that I built, I used all of it as leverage to start these guys as a content group and to kick this shit off with the sole goal and intent to bring Faze back to the top, which we did. We did that all collectively.
Listen to how he's about to pose these things. Because it's very telling as to how little accountability he's about to take into this. He's about to make this about him. He is about to try to spin this narrative, and we'll highlight that a little bit later in the video. But it's just very interesting how he even goes about saying, yo, bro, you know, I said this, they said this, I sacrificed everything in order to build up Faze. This man is sitting in a really nice house right now. I want y'all to know that. I know this is probably the smallest room in this really nice house. But trust me, he's sitting in a really nice house right now. As though the woe is me is not getting off. It's just not.
Over the last 2 years, Faze has won Org of the Year twice. And yeah, I was the first guy in the room. These guys would have never lived in a house together if it wasn't for me. These guys are all at minimum 10 times the size in terms of audience and platform now as before they joined Faze. These guys have all made millions and millions and millions of dollars in the last 2 years, and none of them could ever dispute the fact. Max just said it himself on his stream. Joining Faze was one of the best decisions I ever made in my life. I've heard that from Lacey, I've heard it from Silky, I've heard it from Jason, I've heard it from Ron, I've heard it from Adapt, I've heard it from every single person that's ever joined Faze.
Now, the way that he is posing this, because this is very interesting, the way that he is posing this. I don't even doubt that what he's saying is not true. They've made a lot of money over the past couple of years, had a lot of opportunity, and have had a fast track to their career. This is that same conversation of like going the indie route or the ownership route, or I'm sorry, the label route in the music industry. Yeah, they were able to escalate these things. Money fast-tracked into streaming. And you might have been able to manufacture even some success that these people's had. You know, maybe whether it be the bot memberships, bot subs that are happening on their platforms, or the bots that happen on these platforms. It didn't matter, because at the end of the day, the goal was to bring these guys here, and this platform brought these guys here. The problem is that you put it under the disguise that it was like this genuine effort and thought, when behind closed doors and later down the line, you were going to want some money, and you did not disclose those things. You just didn't disclose those things. Give somebody the opportunity to still sign up for it. You wouldn't have had all this. But the underhanded tactics of, yeah, we'll give you this, we'll give you that, we'll give you this, we'll give you that, we'll give you this, we'll give you that. And then all of a sudden, we're going to do a rug pull. That is financially abusive. That's manipulative. That's not right. You can't do that. If you would have presented this to young streamers, though, I'm pretty sure they would have phased the fuck up. They would have phased the fuck up. If that's what you wanted them to do, you didn't have to lie about it. But you just seem a little bit, I don't know, not genuine when you lie about the financials.
Specifically these guys. And I'm here to tell you, as former Faze Banks, this was one of the worst decisions I've ever made in my entire life. I gave up my entire adult life to this. I have put myself in millions and millions and millions of dollars in debt. I have never made not one singular dollar outside of my salary via Faze. Not selling it, not buying it, raising money. I've just put myself further and further in debt. Yeah, I think Faze to acquire and
I think that that's an interesting, because Banks said earlier in this video that like they're playing these, or maybe it's later in the video, that they're playing these like Twitter community games and this court of public opinion stuff. And I've kept it like pretty consistent on this platform that the court of public opinion shit is not that, like, that is literally not the way to go about doing any of this stuff. It's really not, especially because they have legal contracts behind all this stuff like that. Let it play out in court. Let it play out in court. But as we'll realize in situations to come, clips to come and stuff like that, yo, gang, there were a lot of ways that the Faze organization was reaping the benefits off the backs of these young men. And to act as if you were either oblivious or you did not partake in any of those earnings or income is very, very disingenuous. I think that other owner came out. Let me go ahead and give a perspective from Matt Kalish. I don't know if people know who Matt Kalish is, because we also the co-founder, the people that own Faze. Oh wow, that was crazy. That was a little bit crazy. Hold on. Matt Kalish. Yeah. Matt Kalish is the co-founder / president of DraftKings, you know, the gambling company that we talk about on this platform as well. And the owner of 75, we're going to round, % owner of Faze, had involvement in the recent collapse after asking for 20% of creator earnings. There's a reason why, though. Matt Kalish reveals he invested $10 million into Faze's talent group over the past 18 months and gave creators the option to go independent or sign deals with Hardscope. After roughly 6 months of talks, negotiations ended with creators reportedly viewing the terms as unfavorable, and Kalish plans to move forward without them. Now, we'll hear it later on in this same clip from Banks, but I'm trying to figure out that, like, yo, you didn't know anything about any of that. You were just oblivious to any of that. Like, you didn't know that any of that stuff was going on with the way that he was going to pose this. You thought that this guy was just going to pipe these guys up for 18 months. This is Hardscope, by the way. It's a brand agency. About Hardscope. Hardscope is the operating system for the creator economy, connecting brands and fans with the most influential streamers built to lead culture. We back the established and emerging talent, shaping what's next and setting the standard for creator-led business. These are the creators that they do have on their roster. It's the Faze guys, man. Cool little carousel though. This is pretty cool. This is pretty cool. Pretty cool. Hey, and there's some things here, brand partnerships. This game is messy, I ain't gonna lie. Development, talent. Yo, I want to read through this. All right, I'm about to really like break down the math and science. Y'all ready?
He's on
I'm about to break
fire.
down the math and science, bro. All right, so the way that the game is set up now in 2025, and if you create like a new TikTok account, you'll see what's going on. These people are telling you that you have to do more, you have to be more, you have to create more, you have to go more, you have to be visible more, you have to do all these things. And you get your first AdSense check, you get your first Twitch revenue check. Think about it. It's not like these people have a lot of subs. They get money, but in order to sustain all this stuff, it's expensive. No different than, again, in the music industry. Yeah, you get a lot of money, you sold a lot of records, but your quote-unquote lifestyle is expensive. So to hire those clippers, that shit is expensive. To set up cameras, that shit is expensive. To fly to these different places, get all these things, that shit is expensive. But what if there was somebody who could take all that off your plate? And that's where these agencies come in. They come in and they sign you to a 360, a 720, what's that, a 1080 or whatever the next one, 9 something or whatever the next one is. They sign you to these massive, insane deals where they have your name, image, and likeness, not just your AdSense, but your name, your image, and your likeness for a long time, sometimes forever for some of these content creators. And then after all the data that they collect, after all the eyes that they collect, after all that information, they start shilling you out to these different companies. That's why you see all these clips with Stake on them, with DraftKings, FanDuel, all these other things, RainBet. You see all these other things with them. And then every time you go and ask about it, they tell you, well, this is what we're offering to you. This is why it's worth it. This is why it's worth it. Talent management and business development. Dedicated executive team guiding your career, business, brand, and long-term vision. Now, let's be clear. Gang, if you look at a lot of these content creators, they knew how to make Among Us, set up a Discord, set up an Among Us game, invite their guys over, play the Among Us game, clip that up, put it on YouTube with a decent title and a decent thumbnail and get a lot of views. So really, what are you giving up and what are you getting? I'm going to tell y'all something right now. These corporate entities aren't creative and innovative as creators are. This is poppycock. This is malarkey. This is baloney. This is them saying, yo, we're just going to take and we'll say that we're doing these things. But you can see, as somebody who is a youth, shouts out to the 940, 50, 87 in the building. Shouts out to the 987 in the building. We almost at a K. Gang, I'm telling y'all right now, they're not, the corporate entities aren't as creative as the creators. The corporate entities need the creators. But they've convinced the creators that, you know, you kind of need us. It is what it is. Man, Matt Kalish, whatever his name is, Matt Kalish is not playing Among Us and making this shit entertaining. He's just not. Brand partnerships. From sponsorships to full development deals, we will help you find the right partnerships with the brands you love. The reason why they're able to do this is because they're already connected to the brands in question. Their cousin is also over the brands department at Coca-Cola or whoever or whatever the case may be. And to be fair, they have a backdoor deal with whatever betting company is out right now, whatever prediction market company is out right now, whatever gambling company is out right now, that's going to get it lit and popping. So you think that you're about to get a deal with Nike or Rode or Sony, that's what you're asking for. Guess they don't have those relations for real, but they can still get you $10,000 to $15,000 a month if you just peddle these prediction markets for us. If you could just do that for us, if you could just take this RainBet money, that should go a long way. Content development. Access to our award-winning production team to develop and distribute your premium intellectual property IP across the Hardscope Media Network. All that means is, and I'm keeping it 1,000 wows and cows in. Y'all know I came into this game working on the back end. Pause. Crazy. Y'all know I came in behind the scenes and I saw how the space transitioned. All that means for a lot of these companies, let me say a lot of these companies, I'm not going to speak to Hardscope specifically just in this situation because I'm not going to say I know their specific ins and outs, but all that means is, hey, what we're going to do is we're going to create basically content sweatshops. We're going to create content sweatshops. And all of y'all across the board are going to have the same title style, same thumbnail style, same editing style. You have the world-class production team. Gang, they bought cameras, so you don't have to buy cameras. But again, you never own the cameras. You got to come and rent the cameras. And that camera list, roadcaster list, equipment list is prioritized by who got the most pull and who got the most motion. Remember that. So if you number 17 on the list and iShowSpeed wants to come through and take these cameras and these mics, guess who they're going to give them cameras and them mics to? They're going to give it to iShowSpeed. Remember that. So they're going to come in and say, yo, we'll take care of your thumbnails. We'll take care of your edits. We'll take care of this, that, and the third, blah, 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 blah. And we're going to get you lit. We're going to get you popping. There's two ways they go about doing this. One, they just do a bunch of mass uploading. It's easy to get 100K views in a day if you just uploading 100,000 times. I mean, it's just that simple. It's really that simple. And then number two, they're going to create these clip pages. They're going to back these clip pages. And we're going to get to that in a second because clipping is at the bottom. And they'll back these clip pages and they're going to have them clip you out. Clip. Some of them will make sense. Some of them won't make sense. We've seen some of Neon's clips where the caption and the shit don't even make sense. They use an AI to run these clips or whatever the case may be. And then once they find out that that isn't working, we'll get to that in a second because I do really want to touch on this clipping thing. I talked about it in another video. Y'all should have really tapped into that video, but I'm going to talk about it again right here. God, I'm going off script. I know people told me to do something different, but it's 988 in here, and I'm having a great time. But all that premium sweet shit that they talking about, gang, you take a Twitch paycheck, you take your homeboy that you've been rocking with from school, shouts out to, or your cousin, shouts out to Agent and Waleed, and you figure out how to make this camera work. You figure out how to make this mic work. You figure out how to make this soundboard work. You figure out how to make these things work, but you damn sure don't say to yourself, I'm going to give up X amount of my AdSense so somebody can come in and put up a light and come and put up a light and come and put up a camera on a stand and come and set up an OBS where I have two scenes where I'm switching from main cam to B cam. Where they can do a simple title and thumbnail where it's just a cutout of my face, AI upscaled, and the thumbnail from the video, put those two next to each other. I watched 50 cars get into accidents and say, yeah, that's worth 20% of my AdSense. That's worth 15% of my brand deals. They're not strategists, they're factories, they're microwaves. Full stop. You can do all this. And I'm proud of my setup because we did this by ourselves. You can do all this by yourself and not have to give up 20%. Let's keep going. Consumer products, the infrastructure and expertise to launch and scale your own product lines and apparel. Again, they have that connection. It's going to be, for some, again, not hard scope, some cheaply made t-shirts. It is what it is. That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. Capital investment, the funding, mentorship, operational support to build sustainable standalone businesses from the ground up. Now, again, I've had this opportunity hit my DMs multiple times. Matter of fact, I'll tell you who it is right now. I'm just feeling it tonight. I promise you, I'm feeling it like that tonight. I'll tell you exactly who it is. I'm being messy. And I think I've quote unquote answered some of these DMs before, but I'll never take these deals. So like I'm not worried about exposing these people. No, not famous birthdays. Apparently my birthday is on famous birthdays though. But essentially what happens is, I think it's Everbloom. Is it Everbloom? Everbloom. Everbloom is one of these ones. Okay, let's go to Everbloom and let's see what's going on. Everbloom. All right, cool. There's these companies that pop up shop and they say, yo, we're going to give you money to get your investment off the ground. funding your top creators. Apply for funding and support. What they're going to do is they're going to come in and they're going to give you money for whatever you got going on. They're going to give you funding for whatever project you got going on. In exchange, we negotiate a capped platform revenue share, usually for 8 to 16 months or shorter if your platform revenue grows. You always keep 100% of your channel and IP. Now, having gone into the logistics behind this, they've got this full set of services, panned out, all this other stuff like that. I'm just letting y'all know this is one of those types of corporations where they'll give you funding for what you got going on. You'll send in your how much you make a month. They'll calculate your offerings based off of views, and they'll come to you and they'll say, Omizi, you make $30,000 a year based on your YouTube. We'll go ahead and give you $40,000, and then we're going to do a revenue share for X amount of months until we recoup that money plus interest. It's a loan. It's basically a loan. They're giving you capital because they want you to go out, no different than the record labels, and buy the car, buy the clothes, buy the X, buy the Y, buy the Z in order to make your content better. Novely said Media Q be hitting up ninjas like crazy. Yeah, that's exactly what they do. I'm going to reach out to you. I'm going to put some funding into you, and then I'm going to keep it pushing. Last but not least on this list, clipping. Innovative tools and proprietary clipping tech to turn a moment into a movement. Hey, that's good right there. That's good sauce right there. But we know after our dissection of Neon and how they run up these clipping pages, because trust me, all these things work hand in hand, that clipping and that content development and all that stuff like that. They're going to get these clippers to come through, spread false narratives, say different things about you that's not necessarily true, because those things generate views. At the end of the month, they'll hit you with a report that says, yo, your name generates X amount of views, gang. It generates billions of views. And in that billions of views, you feel like you've done something whole time. Some of those clips that went viral is them saying that you hate Faze, you hate Jason, you hate Agent, you hate Kai, you hate Max, you hate Bruce, you slept with Neon's baby mama. You would spit on DDG if you seen them. And that's okay. That's the drama farm. But guess what? Out of those 10 clips that I named, 7 of them hit over 1 million views. 7 million views. And so you got the appearance of being lit, but it's off the drama farm. It's off that stuff. Woo! Let's keep going, man. This is what Matt said. The current financial structure of Faze is unsustainable. He gave the influencers who operated from a multi-million-dollar Los Angeles mansion the option to go independent or sign deals with Hardscope. He ended talks with them last week and plans to continue on without them. My best guess is they're all good kids and have a lot of people in their ear and confused, Kalish said in the interview. Faze had subsidized a lot of their expenses, he added. The influencers felt the terms Kalish offered were unfavorable, according to a person with knowledge of discussion. What was this saying? Discussion, who asked not to be identified. The talks had gone on for about a year and a half. Or about half a year, my bad. A co-founder of sports betting site DraftKings, Kalish began investing in Faze last year. He said he has put up $10 million into the talent group over the past 18 months to expand their careers. Kalish launched Hardscope as a way to turn creators into next-gen media moguls. The business connects sponsors and fans with personalities who stream content on sites like Twitch. Now, I'm not saying that, this is a good deal, bad deal. The Faze members felt like it was a bad deal. It's up to you to read the contracts. What I am saying is, if there was any moment in which they were led to believe that they were going to get all this stuff kind of pro bono, that's wrong. That's wrong. And that's where all of this falls flat. If they came in with the impression of, oh, yeah, we're going to do whatever, we're going to slide you guys some money. We're going to do these different things. We're going to put you in a house. We're going to do this, that, and the third. And then they did the old bait and switch. That's wrong. That's where they go wrong as a company and corporation. That's why these people have bad taste in their mouths about signing over their name, image, and likeness. And this is the same gimmick that's been played over and over and over and over again. But it wasn't going to fly this time. I think the reason why it's such a hard pill to swallow this go around is because we've seen it. This was posed as some sort of nice content group. We saw these guys, they fucked with each other, we're gonna pipe them up. But that's not what it was. It was a long game in order to ultimately slide them some unfavorable deals and situations. And I'm gonna be honest with you, knowing that that guy is affiliated with DraftKings, best believe they were gonna have to have DraftKings kind of plastered everywhere, wear the DraftKings shirt, DraftKings, this, that, and the third. And guess what was going to happen? And there was probably some AI attached to it as well, where they were going to be able to use their voice for whatever ad reads and stuff like that. And then they were going to become the poster child for DraftKings. That would be a problem with me. I'm not pushing that gambling stuff like that. That's crazy.
All the costs for these guys' careers over the last 2 years, I think ballpark $40 million. And I think probably collectively these guys have had to have probably made like 20 million in the last 2 years collectively, I would guess. And not $1 of that 20 million has ever gone back to Faze. Never mind me. Even if it did ever go back to Faze, that shit, it's not mine. And I just fucking can't believe it. I can't believe I'm in this position now where people are calling for my head. People are wishing for my death. People are telling me I ruined Faze. I ruined Faze, guys. I ruined it.
I do hate how he's trying to pose this as if there's no benefit for him. There's definitely benefit from Banks in this situation. Do not get it twisted. Do not get it twisted. The way that he's acting is if he benefited nothing from this. He benefited from this.
When I have had not one say in anything that's gone on in the last 5 months, and I set all this shit in motion in the first place, I ruined it. I ruined it. There's 5-6 individuals who are multimillionaires and have beautiful careers ahead, and God bless you, and I wish you guys the best, and I ruined it. The fact of the matter is, if we went in a time machine 2 years back and I decided to never try to fix this Faze shit, I'd be much better off. I'd have more money, and these kids would just be doing what they were doing before. It's hard for me to sit here and take that. It really is. And I plan on going live tomorrow or the next day at some point in the future and really kind of just laying it all out. A to Z, start to finish, the entire 15-year history of this, specifically the last 2 years, specifically the behind-the-scenes shit and the dynamic between all the kids in the back end. Because I just watched some clips from this Black Boy Max stream where he's playing a laugh track over my tweet. And
it's interesting that he keeps calling them kids. When people talk, you got to listen. And sometimes you just got to let people talk. Everything that he is saying is telling about who he is, what type of person he is, what position he sat in as he benefited from all this. And in order to get ahead of what's to come, because this happened before what Max's cousin said today, he's positioning himself as some innocent mentor guy that, just wanted to help these guys out. And they're coming off as ungrateful kids. They're just coming off as some ungrateful kids. And it's sad, but, you can only help but so many people. And he's got this woe is me sob story going on right now. I don't know if everybody else can feel this, but he's about to start throwing people under the bus left, right, and sideways.
It's like, Max, I know we've had like our individual differences, and I know I haven't really seen eye to eye with a lot of the talent because truthfully and honestly, I find you guys all to be incredibly ungrateful. I find you guys all to have insane egos, and I think it's disgusting and makes me sick to my stomach that your guys' relationships with each other and with every other streamer and your community included is so incredibly fake. You guys are the best actors on planet Earth, and you've made a complete career out of all of it. Max, these are your boys, but these are the same guys that said they fucking hated your guts after you left. And
remember they said that.
Know, you're the program and you have an ego the side. You think you're Travis Scott and this and that. And also, like Max, multiple conversations about how Ron's content's cringe and you guys didn't fuck with the dad. None of you guys fucked with Lacey or Jason in the beginning. You guys didn't want these guys to live anywhere near you. You barely wanted to share a brand with them. But Faze was going to fund a Miami house for you, Raid.
This contradicts everything that he said to me last year on live stream. I want to know why Banks lied to me. I want to know why he would lie and then come on this stream specifically or this video specifically and kind of air it all out. Whatever he says in that situation, or whatever he says in his live stream, whenever he does it, I really doubt that he's going to go live because tomorrow all the guys are going live. Whatever he says in that live stream, though, cannot contradict what was said in the live stream about a year ago. I think that live stream a year ago when myself, Lacey, Ron, and Banks sat on a phone call was him taking that as a moment to get a W. Like he needed to win so bad. He needed to go ahead and squash this narrative. There were so many people who had already had this narrative before. He had never truly addressed any of these people. And this was his opportunity to hop onto Ron's stream and take reins of that situation and position himself as big bro who's just looking out for the group. And all these things are untrue. All these narratives that not just myself, but others were painting about them around the internet were just not true. That was his time to really speak out. And a lot of what he's saying in this video, because people are like, oh, well, why do you feel like you're right, Omar? A lot of what he's saying in this specific video contradicts a lot of what he said in that live stream. That's just the plain truth. He said that they were cool. He said that they fucked with each other. They're just buddies. And then all of a sudden, they don't fuck with each other. They didn't like each other. They're fake. They're ungrateful. These guys don't care about each other. They even talk shit behind each other's backs. And you stayed silent? Yeah.
Silky and Kason, so fuck it. We'll take what we can get. And then it all worked. And we forced this relationship. And I was called a fucking retard then, and I was told then I was ruining Faze. And now 2 years later, it wound up being the best thing that ever happened. So you understand why I'm sitting here and I'm frustrated. I would hope anyone watching could sit here and understand why I would be frustrated while a fucking entire hate mob is coming after me on fucking Christmas, my first Christmas without my mom, when all I've ever fucking wanted to do is help Faze be successful. That's all I've ever wanted to do. That's the only intent. Where's the money? I'm this fucking guy who's trying to take everything from everybody. Where is it? Then why the fuck am I millions of dollars in debt? Where is it? It's in Black Boy Max's bank account. It's in fucking Silky's bank account. It's in Jason, Ronaldo, Lacey's bank account. I wish this never happened. I wish that I never did any of this. And they'll all still tell you this was the best decision they ever made in their life. I'm emotional and I'm passionate. I'm never going to apologize for that. Anything that I do, anything that I speak on, anything that I work on, any talent that I fuck with, anything that I touch, I will always be 100% 2 feet in. That's just who I am. And everything that I'm telling you guys right now is fucking straight facts.
Taking this to Twitter was stupid. It's
dead wrong, bro. This is unfair. It's unfair to drag me like this. It's unfair to pin me as some fucking horrible guy.
I think the reason why people are pinning you as some horrible guy, just be transparent. Did you know that they were going to take, or at least attempt to take, this amount of money? Were there always no strings attached? Were you blindsided by these new strings that were being attached? I think that that's something to address right then and there. Hey, I'm blindsided about the strings too. I'm super blindsided about the strings. He knows what the gripes and complaints of the members are. Hey, this corporate entity wants to come in. They want to put strings on us as content creators. They want to hinder us. They want to take 20%. They want us to do these X, Y, and Z. And so they turn and say, Banks, did you know? And all he has to say right now is he didn't know. That's all he has to say is like, yeah, that stuff is true. I didn't know it was coming. He doesn't say that though. Why not?
Again, the fact of the matter is,
shouts out to the 1,000 in the building.
He's on fire.
Fuck, what are you talking about?
And has millions and millions of extra dollars because they met me. Whereas I, on the other hand, have lost years of my life to this shit and am significantly worse off financially. Significantly. This has destroyed me. My whole life has been completely destroyed in the last 4 or 5 months, but nobody gives a fuck because I don't have a Twitch chat. And I refuse to be one of the people to just do what you guys are telling me to do. I don't know. Guys, this streaming shit is so fucking fried. It really is. The narratives, the clips, the fucking, the appeal to comms and chat and like the willingness to just fucking, you know, it's funny. Everybody looks at these streamers as guys and people who have these massive audience and have influence over millions of people and can impose their opinions and their will on millions of people, but it's not true. It's the exact opposite. The traditional influencer is dead. These kids are the most heavily influenced people on the planet. They are puppets attached to millions of strings.
This spin is weird. This spin is weird. There's some truth into what he's saying, but this spin specifically is weird, and it's like a misnomer. Is that what it is? A misnomer. It's a redirect. It still got nothing to do with nothing, and he's just kind of getting this off right now.
And if their comms and their fucking chats say that the sky is red, and they disagree, and they say, no, chat, I think it's blue. Once that fucking viewer number starts to fall off, once they start to see L's in their chat, once they start to see hate threads in their fucking comms, they switch up real quick, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter about objective truth. It's the sky is red. I've been trying to talk to these guys for 4 or 5 months, and they don't give a fuck. All they care about is their stream, which is completely fine. I don't need them to give a fuck. I don't need anybody to pretend to care. I'm done pretending to care. But if I had 100,000 viewers, if my name was Kai Cenat, they'd fucking be on my dick.
Damn.
They'd be welcoming me with open arms. I would have had a big fucking red comfy chair at the Streamer Awards to fucking, hey, come fuck with us, bro. Let's do a stream tomorrow. Like, that's just what it is. And you guys know that's what it is. And anybody arguing against that is just fucking completely lost. These relationships are fucking fraudulent. It's fucking fried, bro.
I don't disagree with what he's saying here. Like, that's perfectly fine. Yo, he did say some truthful things here. It's a misdirection from what needs to be addressed here. Banks, you said that you said that all this shit was genuine. You said that this shit was genuine. You said that, yo, getting into that house and all that shit was genuine, gang. All that shit was not manufactured. These guys they're just friends, they're boys. Which, again, you just said it's not true. But nonetheless, yo, this shit is genuine. This shit is real. And the guys are saying, yo, we got hit with this guy who apparently owns 75% of Faze saying that, you know, hey, y'all need to get into these contracts and deals. We done made y'all's careers. Y'all need to go ahead and pay us back, pay it, or whatever the case may be in these stipulations. They felt like they were blindsided. Banks, did you know about this? Beforehand, before you sold them these pie in the sky hopes and dreams, did you know about any of this stuff? If he can answer that question straight up, yes, no, I think there's a reason why he's not. If you can answer those questions, then we just stop talking. If you just say, you know, I did not know about this. That blindsided me too. I'm hurt too. I didn't actually think they were going to do this. I was just trying to create some poppin' lit shit. I wasn't manufacturing nothing.
Fucking fried.
Let's finish this out.
And I'm happier than ever to be going my separate way, and I'm glad that what happened 5 months ago. I'm happy to be off of it. There is no future for me in Faze. There is none. That was my last try. That was it. I have nothing left to give this. I gave it my entire adult life and I tried my hardest. And for anybody who's a fan of me and anybody who's a fan of Faze, I am sorry. I've absolutely failed you.
Gang, this man is a multimillionaire.
And, the one thing I'm perfectly okay with taking accountability for is being the root cause of all of this. Because at the end of the day, I am. This is, in a fucking twisted way, all my fault. Because at the end of the day, I put these guys in a room. At the end of the day, I went and raised money. I convinced, these business people that this vision and these guys were a good bet to take. I thought in good faith that, if we gave people careers, if we fucking gave everybody the best resources and this shit worked, then everything else would figure itself out. And I'm so fucked.
Oh, my. There it is right there. I thought that and I went to bat for these guys. So, hey, and I could be wrong about some of this timeline, but hey, Faze was locked up by these organizations. Banks did some creative shit to get portions back, and this is the way to recoup, and this is the way to get lit in this space again, or whatever the case may be, is if you just bank on these guys. I went in this room and convinced those guys that investing in these content creators, this will pan out for everybody, posing it as things will work out in the end. Banks, when you went to those people at DraftKings that were going to put up that money, you said to them, hey, if you sign content creators and streamers, you're going to see a return on your investment. How? We can go ahead and just redistribute all their content, use their name, image, and likeness on these ads, all these different things, blah, 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 blah. You knew about this stuff. That whole work it out in the end. Think about how he's even trying to phrase this right now. You're telling me multimillionaire, part of $1 billion organization. Hell, that man Matt is probably a billionaire. Said, oh shit, if we sign these guys and we'll just fund their lifestyle, it'll just work itself out. That man is a multimillionaire. You think you think I'm supposed to believe that he was under the assumption that shit would just work itself out? No, we're not. I'm not stupid. I'm not stupid, gang. And so after that conversation, after you said, hey, this is the way that we're going to recoup some money on this whole thing. We're going to get this money. Finesse these dudes. We're going to get this shit popping and started. I don't think it even started with the current collection of Faze. Because we've heard from multiple members of AMP that they were approached by Faze and said, hey, yo, man, if you come and you fuck with us, we'll go ahead and we'll do X, Y, and Z. Now, I don't know. I wasn't in those conversations in detail. I was around at that time, though. I can say I was around during that time in which there were conversations about AMP Faze. Let me see if I could find the clip. I know I have it saved somewhere, but Agent was sitting on a podcast and he had talked about the fact that, I think this is it right here. I think this is it right here. Yep.
I heard that you guys almost were actually in Faze. Banks hit us up and was like, what do you guys think about AMP and Faze? So we had some conversations about what that would look like. And then Banks said, let's get you a house. Like, you know how Banks talks. Yeah. Oh my God, we'll get you a house. We'll put you in New York. We'll get you a house. We looked around the idea of doing like Miami, LA. We really explored it. We probably had a few calls with him. I think there was a little bit of hesitancy because of the obvious fear of letting somebody in. Because it's not like you let Faze in and then like Swag and Jay Smooth and Banks is gonna be helping run the shit. The corporate is gonna run the shit. And so those are the ones we had the questions about the most. We had a meeting where we asked ourselves, like, do we think we could be the biggest? And everybody unanimously said yes. And then we asked ourselves, do we think we need Faze to do it? And then everybody said no. And so that is what made our decision.
Yeah, that was always gonna be the case. And no matter what Banks says in that situation, like, we weren't falling for any of that stuff. We were we were never gonna fall for any of that stuff. That like, oh, this was just supposed to happen, or you know, whatever the case may be. He's just gonna give us money and we're just gonna run with it and this, that, and the third. Bruce is live. Bruce is about to get it off too. Shouts out to Bruce, man. Me and Bruce, man. Southside legends in the building.
He's on fire!
So whatever gimmick Banks was trying to get off was just a disingenuine gimmick. It just is. It just is. I do wanna read these super chats before we get into what happened with Plaque Max's cousin, because I promise you I'm gonna make a whole video about this shit, because the way that they slutted out basically Plaque Max is crazy. This is Plaque Max's cousin.
Little dude, we know they're selling his identity without letting him know. And so Max ends up leaving Faze. We only knew this because he left Faze. He got the deal on Spotify. They dropped Faze and gave it to Max. Guess how much this was for? 400 bands for 5 months. Niggas about to run off a half the ticket off a nigga. Half the ticket off a nigga. Chat, just so this makes sense.
This clip is after rugging MLG Coin, Faze decided to sign a music deal for Plaque Max without his consent, worth $400,000. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Shouts out to Great CJ for becoming a member. Became a member of O Block. Shouts out to you. This is the Adidas kid sending $2 to let me know, that I was muted. And so did Money I Get. That was earlier in the stream, letting me know I was muted. Shouts out to Cranoverse Reacts for $10.
Oh man, not again.
Saying W Victory Lap. W Victory Lap indeed. Shouts out to OK Dennis. $2 says, I can't stand Richard Banks. Can't stand Richard Banks. Never the Little One for $20.
He's on fire!
Oh man, not again.
Bang, bang, bang.
Just says off the strength. Just says off the strength. And then for $2, no way, says, is AMP equal equity split or controlled? I don't know the finances behind AMP. I don't think that everything is like 100% equal. Remember, there were original members and then there were people that came after, but I don't know the finances behind AMP. I would just be making an assumption at that point. I can't divulge that because I don't know. I don't know, Buckaroo. Let me see what Bruce is saying real quick, and then we'll go into Plaque Max's cousin.
I'm not even joking. I'm being dead ass serious. Chat not on screen?
Sit a cup on each nostril.
No, you cannot sit a cup on each nostril of my nose.
Sup, Bruce.
This is to tell y'all this. We had no control. There was no control.
Duh. This monkey thought he was about to have control. Stop it, bro. Never, gang. Never. Come on, bro.
Like
all right, Bruce about to troll. Bruce about to troll.
You get what I'm saying?
Look, I just got sent two things. I just got sent two things. I want to play these because this talks about just some of the more of the flim flam that came behind the Faze shit. This is one of the older members that was in the group. Faze Swag talks about, let me go to it. Let me show you guys. Faze Swag says something felt fishy about Faze Clan when all the members were averaging 10 to 20K viewers with 100K plus subscribers, and their best offer they could get was for a loco. Oh shit.
The boys are at the height of everything. They're back-to-back orgs of the year, fucking demons, right? everybody in Faze averaging 10, 20K. Oh, all the boys are averaging 10, 20K viewers. And then like the best sponsor we could grab was Four Loko. It was, I was sitting there thinking like something's weird. Like I feel like especially with now, the best we can do is Four Loko. Bro, there's 7 people in Faze averaging 20K viewers. These motherfuckers, they should have been on a cover of cereal boxes. Like, I was sitting there like, wait, there's something's not making sense. Like, how the fuck, like 2 years ago, did we have Porsche and McDonald's? Ron has 35K viewers building a slide. I remember I called one of the internal people. I said, yo, Ron is averaging 35K viewers building a slide in the back of the backyard. It should be a Nike slide. Yeah. Why is it not a Nike slide?
But the reason why, again, it goes back to what I was saying when I went down the whole Hardscope thing. The people at Hardscope, or the people at the parent company, the people that own X, Y, and Z percentage of Faze, have relationships with some of these people that essentially have vested interest in some of the things that the vices that young men have. Remember, these are male streamers. Their audience is predominantly male, so they go and build relationships with the gambling companies and the alcohol companies. They go and build relationships with them, right? And so, granted, like Swag just said, yo, we were pulling less numbers, less viewers, doing less big things, and we were able to get household names as sponsorships. That's because you had people pitching you properly to household names. But those people didn't have the same vested interest as these people do. These people are talking to their friends saying, yo, I've got this group and I've got this collective here. This is what they can push out to. This is the best kind of ad that you can get. This is what's called a targeted ad. You can push your targeted ad at a better rate than anybody else can get you. You don't have to go out there and shop ads and get these badass rates because you're an alcohol company or you're a gambling company, and people have gripes about that. No, you don't have to do that no more. You got something to sell. I got the product that can push it. So what's gonna happen is you work at Four Loko, I work over Faze. I'm gonna take into you, like I just said, hey, we're gonna get you these sponsorships. It's just gonna be my buddy. And you're gonna be peddling this alcohol. You're gonna be peddling these prediction markets and all these different things. So right, pulling great numbers, lit numbers, big numbers. But ultimately, the best deal that you can get is a Four Loko deal. That's because that's all they're pitching to. And they're not even really pitching. Come and do this very targeted ad. When somebody does an ad, you can do some targeting. You can kind of go here, get into this market, this demographic. You can kind of do that. But this right here, nigga, this shit right here, this is exactly what they trying to do. I'm trying to get direct to the source. Let's go into, who is this? PD Pablo? No, let me stop. Faze Zuma exposes how Faze destroyed sponsor relationships. Well, let's hear what he has to say. Let's see if this contradicts what I just said.
Again, you would think that they would be able to make money through the sales pitch. And I'll be honest, he brought up Porsche and McDonald's. Bro, they kicked all the sponsors out. I was doing good business with Xfinity, Benjay. We were doing phenomenal business with Xfinity. Phenomenal. Everybody was eating. It was phenomenal business. And then everything happened, and they said, oof, man, something happened with everything going on. We unfortunately had to step away from Faze, but we loved working with you, and thank you. Like, bro, what? Like, I'm like, bro, like, that's crazy. Like,
he's saying that the corporate entities came in, Zuma and Swag and whoever else back then had been doing these brand deals. They built great relationships with some of these household names. And all of a sudden, they got pushed out. The ads got pushed out. Why? Because the people over DraftKings, the people over these entities, these companies and all this stuff have relationships with the Four Loko guys and the Zen guys and the prediction market guys and the gambling market guys, all these things. So no, we don't want Porsche and all this. No, we don't want y'all. We don't want y'all. We don't even want to give them that option. We only want to give them the option of these things because that's our buddy over there. And they get the kickback and we get the kickback. And they get the kickback and we get the kickback. So again, they claim that they can get you all these ad deals, but they can't. They really, really can't, for real, for real. Why? Because they don't even want to build a relationship with these guys. You have a specific market. They want to get the market, the product that they're cool with. Those little games, the cash drafts, play Monopoly Go and win X amount of dollars. That's who they're plugging you in with. The alcohol companies, that's who they're plugging you in with. They're not going to these guys to pitch y'all no more. No, because they don't get no kickback from that. At least they don't get the big one.
We did have a lot of sponsors, but they wiped the sponsors when the whole new Faze thing came. They wiped them. Like, they basically told them no sponsors, right? I think they wanted no sponsors to kick things off. Which I'll be honest, I don't even think that was a problem. Like, if they wanted to start off with no sponsors, I don't think that would have been a problem. But what happened to the relationship with all those companies? Like, what happened to you know what I'm saying? Like, what happened to that relationship?
Bro, he's naive. They said no sponsors because we want this to feel genuine and authentic. No sponsors because we need to go scorched earth so we can bring in our guys. They spun it as, yo, we're about to feel genuine and authentic, and then ultimately they come in with their guys that they have connections with. That's how they get the swag off, no pun intended. But it's like he just said, yeah, that's cool. We go in no sponsors to feel authentic. But what should happen is, all right, we've already built up this momentum. We've been doing this content for a year. Faze has lost this corporate image. You just pick the phone back up with James from McDonald's and say, yo, James from McDonald's, we're back. We're better than ever, baby. Let's do business. And James from McDonald's would have no problem getting Lacey a Big Mac meal, getting Ron a quarter pounder meal, getting Jason a nugget meal. He would have no problem doing that. Max with a fish fillet deal. We would have no problem with doing that. But guess what? No, because that's not where they get the most kickbacks from. That's not where they get the most kickbacks from. What else do I have before we get into some of these clips? These more damning clips. So the Black Boy Max's cousin shit, Fat Boy Dip, he gets into a live stream today. It's about 17 minutes. And he tells it all. He spills the damn tea, brother. He spills the damn tea. Even alluding to the fact that some of the stuff that was said behind scenes was racial. Was very, very racial in nature. There was some slurs and whatnot that were said in this conversation. Let me try to pull this up real quick. Please don't. He finna blast this music. I need to get to the point where he's not playing music.
Show it. No, show it, Hens. Dead ass. I don't want y'all to think I'm lying. Oh, God, I don't.
Okay, wait a minute.
Oh, God, I don't want you to think I'm lying. All right. And GTA. Oh, God. Let's talk about everything.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Let's talk about everything. First off, let's talk about Bank saying niggas aren't real friends. Bank saying niggas are not real friends.
Okay. He finally moves. What is going on? Calm down, Jamal, in GTA.
As we all know, Bank saying niggas aren't real friends. Bank saying niggas are not real friends. As we all know, chat.
Calm down.
These niggas were not friends before they started this. No. Or they might have been cool. And then they grew to like each other. So let's just use Max. They were saying Max is Travis Scott. Nigga, they said this to him. They had arguments. Brothers argue, do they not? Max said, I don't like when you troll like this. I think it's cringe. He said this to these niggas' faces. And they have said, yo, bro, your ego and you acting different to his face. So I don't get where that's coming from. I think niggas is trying to make points. But they don't even make sense.
Well, he's trying to win an argument, and that's why he would do those things. But again, last year when we were on that phone call, he said that stuff wasn't true, even though it was pretty public and vocal that Max did say that, or these guys did say that, they weren't friends or whatever the case may be. Like, Hey, that shit is weird, brother.
Nothing to do with the points niggas are making about this. We're talking about business and niggas not doing good business.
Facts.
So even if they aren't friends, I don't get why that matters. But I would say they are friends. Niggas argue, and that's that. Because it's funny because in Miami chat, this nigga Banks was calling Max in the car, saying like, "Yo, bro," they were just talking. And they're like, "Yo, this nigga Silky though, he's lazy as fuck." Da 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 da. Yo, you would have thought we was in a skit, talking crazy shit, not even knowing Max was on speaker. Silky is right next to Max, talking crazy shit about the nigga in Miami, saying this nigga's lazy. I don't know about this nigga. And when he comes back, yo, this is my brother. This is my brother. So I guess we all fake then, nigga. I guess we all fake as fuck.
Come on, Maximilian. Or I'm sorry, come on, Banks-a-million. Come on, Banks-a-million. That goes against what you said, gang. I have no reason to not believe what Blackboy Max's cousin is saying to be true, or to be false, or to not be true, because it was kind of validated, the previous statements yesterday by Max. And I guess tomorrow when everybody goes live at the same time, we're going to hear the same exact things.
Silky hearing everything. Yo, gang, he was talking shit about him for like 10 minutes. We were like, yo, I'm literally like, yo, are we in a skit? Does he know Silky's right here? He has to. He has to. He has to know. When you get back, it's like, oh, you're my brother. Oh, gang, like, we understand each other. Oh, I don't know, brother. Like, bro, I don't get it. And hold on, chat. And then let's speak on Banks leaving Faze. Banks was pushed out of Faze by the Faze members, right? And they wanted Kalish to run it. Max leaves. So now there's this thing called Hardscope that now owns Faze.
Yep.
Which Banks has a part of. So you still part of Faze. What are you talking about? Niggas is liars, bro. You still are part of Faze because you own Hardscope, nigga. What the fuck?
And that's part of the connection there. And that's part of the connection there. And that's the missing piece. That's part of the missing piece. If Hardscope is partially owned by Faze Banks, then he's a liar. And that's a question that he needs to answer. That's a question that he needs to answer. I do find it interesting though. Y'all remember when I just pulled up Everbloom? I pulled up Everbloom, and Everbloom has, hold on. We scroll far enough. Everbloom has what appears to be, do they have the backers behind it? More about Everbloom. Creators are the new startup. Co-founder of Everbloom. I think you can see the people behind.
Y Combinator for creators. We would.
Whoa. I think you can see some of the people behind Everbloom. And we found that pretty easy, right? I don't think we were able to find that when we went on Hardscope. This is Hardscope right here. So that's another question that Banks is going to have to answer. Is he in any way, shape, form, or fashion a part of the ownership team when it comes to Hardscope? Again, I can't find it. It's not clear. Is he a part of the ownership team when it comes to Hardscope? If he is a part of this ownership team when it comes to Hardscope, then gang, you lied again. Is this it right here? This is Hardscope launches vertically integrated media platform to scale creator empires and unlock Gen Zs for brands. This is just some PR for Hardscope, but let's see if I can like skim through and see if there is, led by CEO Matt Kalish. But is he a part of this at all in any way, shape, form, or fashion? It doesn't seem to say. That's a bold claim. That is a bold claim if Faze Banks is a part of the ownership when it comes to Hardscope. I'm just gonna be honest with you. That means that's another lie in the lie hat. That's a big lie.
Bro, you gotta see what I'm saying, chat. Niggas be lying, bro. Niggas is liars. And then they say the same shit to him. We need 20%. They brought back the deal because niggas is not having. I guess niggas is broke. They needed money. So they used the same deal they said we're not doing, but now it's Hardscope and not Faze doing it. Do you all see what I'm saying? So you are a part of Faze because you own Faze still because Hardscope owns Faze. You own a percentage of Hardscope. Bro, y'all, bro, niggas be word playing niggas. Bro, you own Faze, gang. That's why niggas is leaving.
Wow.
This is why niggas is leaving, bro. Another thing with the Faze niggas. Let's talk about Max. How niggas took multiple shits, bro. Multiple shits, bro. Max, you see how Max is a partner of Spotify, right? He did not have that sponsorship at first. Faze did. And this is how it happened. They redid Max's house, right? Redid his shit. And they're like, yo, can we put up the Spotify shit for this video? It's sponsored. Max is like, yeah, whatever, that's cool. After the video, I'm like, yo, take that shit down. You're not getting paid, nigga. These niggas start saying, nah, this shit hard as fuck, bro. Like, that shit just look good and make it official, bro. The Spotify, da-da-da. This shit look official. I'm looking at this nigga. And this is where I'm like, how does Max have ego? Because this nigga's like, yeah, this shit is a little hard. This is official. How does a nigga like, nigga, I'm like, gang, you're Playboy Max. You can get that yourself.
Damn, he's saying everything that I was just saying for the past like 2 hours. He's saying everything that I was saying. What he's essentially saying is, and this is what these companies will do. You can check it on all of these NBA player podcasts and, you know, all these different things. These people, Omizi's kind of doing it himself, will come in, set up your studio in a certain way. It went from talking head videos that were just kind of like this, talking head videos that capture this, to a more encompassing scene, to a scene that reveals a little bit more. We can even see how it's set up in his room. And so then what the brand is going to do is they're going to come and they're going to say, hey, gang, there's a lot of space back here. We can utilize all this space for advertisement. We could just utilize all this space. And so they're going to put their signs and posters up. What's going to happen, though, is they'll pay you a certain amount of money. It won't be what you're worth. They'll pay you based off of how your videos perform on like YouTube and your average viewership on Twitch or whatever the case may be. They'll pay you rates similar to that. They might put a little 5 on extra, but what they know is that it's not just about that. The short form game is also true. So if Max does a subathon for 365, let's say he actually committed to doing it. Let's say he actually committed to doing it. And he had Spotify's logo in the back. They pay you, quote unquote, per piece of content. Like if I do an ad read on my channel, y'all have seen some ad reads on my channel, I might get a couple $100s per ad read. It's supposed to exist on that one video and this is calculated by how many views, et cetera, et cetera. They got ad placement in the videos, in the long form lives, the VODs, in whatever short form clips that Blackboy Max makes, but also the Clippers. The Clippers. The Clippers, the Clippers, the Clippers, the Clippers. Also, who owns the Clippers? The same company that owns the Clippers is the same company that's bringing in the brand deal. You see where the kickbacks are starting to come in? You see where the transparency is not being had? And so they're just washing the money all these different ways. So now these Clippers are producing billions of views, billions with a B of views. And X brand is getting advertised 70 billion times. But they only paid for the 100K views. Remember that. They only paid for the 100K views.
And if you want to split it, that's cool. What the fuck? So this is where we end up taking it down. Little dude, we know they're selling his identity without letting him know. And so Max ends up leaving Faze. We only knew this because he left Faze. He got the deal on Spotify. They dropped Faze and gave it to Max. Guess how much this was for? 400 bands for 5 months. Niggas about to run off a half a ticket off a nigga. Half a ticket off a nigga. Chat, just so this makes sense, imagine LeBron James and the Lakers working together and the Lakers take all the money from a commercial with Beats. Imagine LeBron is wearing a Lakers jersey, and he's wearing his Beats. And so LeBron and the Lakers are like, okay, we'll break this off, but da-da-da-da-da. Imagine the Lakers take all the money, LeBron gets nothing. What the fuck? And you don't tell him, and you don't even tell him it's paid.
Also, half a ticket has changed meanings from when I was a youth. Half a ticket was not $1 million. God, they dealing with some different money. But he is right, though. It's cool to have Beats on. It's cool to have this logo in the background because I'm a kid. This is a good image. But ultimately, somebody's getting paid. Again, they are not coming to you and offering these things for free. They are not coming to you and saying, yo, gang, we can put a Spotify logo behind you for free. We can put Beats on your head for free. They're not saying those. That's not real. Yo, throw this up, gang. We decorating the room. Throw this up. You need to say, whoa, whose brand is that? Where did that come from? Who did that? What they want in exchange? That's what you need to be saying.
You don't even tell him it's paid. And the house looks like a walking promo.
Yep. The house look like
That's bad business, bro.
A walking fucking promo.
That's bad business, bro. That's bad business, bro. And chat, I'm not going to be on long today, bro. But this is the main thing, bro. Max and Banks got in an argument, a crazy argument. They hang up. He calls other Faze members and says, fuck this nigga. Fuck this nigga.
That's a big allegation that is going to have to be addressed. Did Faze Banks call the other Faze members after getting into a dispute with Black Boy Max and said, fuck this nigga? Oh, wait. Who?
He says, fuck this nigga. That was his last straw of like, oh, nah, because now it's like, gang, you overly playing with me. And it gets worse. This nigga is called, when Max left, he called him like, yo, bro, why you leaving? Why you leaving? He was giving all the reason. He's like, yo, bro, the last reason for real was, you called me a nigga. You know what this response was like? Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? What? What? And he's like, bro, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I know you said that shit. I know you said that shit. He's like, bro, I was angry, da-da-da, but keep it a buck, bro. That's not the reason you left Faze. Keep it a buck. Don't put that on me, bro. You know I'm going through a lot, bro. You know I love you. You're going through a lot. I'm going through a lot. Don't put that on me, bro. Max like, yo, bro, I'm not going to expose that shit. Like, it don't matter. Like, I'm going to take that on the chin. I don't care, bro. I'll be the evil nigga. But you said that shit. He's like, if I did, it wasn't on no racist shit, bro. Like, nigga, what?
And that's the cultural differences that Omar was talking about last year. That should about wrap this shit up. That should about wrap this shit up for me on this live. I'm gonna let this play out. But when niggas was coming for my head last year for takes that I had made, it's all being unraveled in real time. Not on no racist shit. Telling a black man, fuck this nigga. Very similar to when Kai was like, Aiden's manager called him a nigga. A chicken Big Mac, nigga? A chicken Big Mac? Not on no racist shit. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. That's so nasty, bruh. That shit's so nasty.
And chat, everything I'm saying, multiple people are in rooms for this. I'm not. Every single thing I'm saying, that's why I'm not saying some shit where I don't have any vouchers. Every single thing I said, chat, multiple people or everyone knows it's happening. Multiple people or everyone knows it's happening, bro. Hold on. Yeah, bro. And chat, these are the main reasons a nigga left Faze. There's also smaller reasons. I'm not gonna say nothing that isn't I witnessed with my own eyes. I was in the car when the nigga is talking about calling him a nigga. So I can say this with my own them talking about that. I can talk about them doing the Spotify shit. Chad, the shit is fucked up, bro. The shit is fucked up, bro. Niggas argue you gonna call him a nigga, bro. That's not right, bro. At the end of the day, bro.
It's the cultural difference.
That's chat. I'm not gonna be on for too long. I just wanted to make this happen. We back tomorrow.
Yeah. All I'm gonna say is I think that this year, because I knew that was gonna happen, and Bruce is probably still going crazy on his end, just getting this shit off. This thing. Hold on. Phase of man, 20% of reality is. This thing is. It starts off with just cultural differences from a corporate entity to an individual entity. And the thing about it is that these content creators blew up and were successful based off of their individual efforts. When the cultural differences came in and these big corporate entities decided to muscle their way into streaming, we've seen it be ruined. We've seen content creation be ruined by this. This is over the past couple years. Now, I think that people going forward are going to be more strategic as to how they take on these corporate sponsorships, corporate partnerships, things of that nature. But a lot of these bigger companies, these media companies, these organizations came in and scorched earth and did a bunch of bullshit. As they start to unravel, I will call them out on this platform and this channel. But there's guys out in LA that are using some sort of production house that gives them bullshit and is ultimately using their name, image, and likeness to promote their brand right now. They're giving them clips. They're giving them production stuff. All they got is the little streaming backpack, a Sony camera, and DJI mics. And they got these guys believing that they're professionals. I'm watching these videos. They don't even know how to operate a camera. These corporate entities came in, saw a bunch of kids making money, and said, just like in any industry previously, this is how I am going to take advantage of them. I don't care what anybody says. Now, granted, you got to make money from a company's perspective. But I 100% believe that they are not telling these kids the full-on, honest-to-God truth. And that's where the advantage is getting taken from. I'm going to say this to y'all. We're going to keep this rocking throughout the weekend. We're going to keep this Faze train rocking. I'm not done. This horse is not dead. I am not, I'm not done beating it at all, ladies and gentlemen. I am not done beating this dead horse at all because it's not dead. It's full on. We're gonna drop a video about Plaque Boy Max. Oh, whoa. Let me get these. Shouts out to Tendo for $10. Oh, wait.
Oh man, not again.
He's on fire.
I can't believe the LA Clippers are involved. Shouts out to I'm Bucky for $10.
He's on fire.
Banks sounds like a genius talking about it would have worked itself out. God, he's so smart. That brother is so smart when he says that stuff. It would have worked itself out. It would have worked itself out. Shouts out to everybody for showing up and showing out. We got a Plaqueboy Max video coming out. Remember, Banks is supposed to go live, and the guys are supposed to go live. If you haven't known, Ron, Silky, Lacey, and Jason said that they're all going to stream tomorrow at about 5 p.m. I'm pretty sure they're going to address a few things about this situation. I think we knew this about Bruce. Bruce is talking now about how Banks wanted him to join as well. They were scrambling to get any sort of streaming talent because they knew that they could take advantage of whoever, whenever, whatever. They went to Aiden and said, "Yo, how can we do this, that, and the third? How can we take advantage of this person, that person?" Yeah, we already knew, gang. We knew that. So anyway, nonetheless, when they go live tomorrow, we'll get some shit off. When we'll get some shit off about Plaqueboy Max as well. We'll go into those different things. But all I'm gonna say, and I just gotta ask this question. Banks, why did you lie to me? Why did you lie to me? Why did you come on the stream with me and Ron and Lacey and lie to me? Simple as that. My invitation still stands. Ron, Lacey, I would love to get you guys out here. We'll have a great conversation. Again, I'll fly y'all out. I'll even do first class. We'll do first class. I want to have y'all sit down on the big comfy couch. We'll have a conversation in here. Have a conversation in the room, right? Or we can hop back on live stream. You guys generously extended your platform to me last year. I want to extend my platform to you all. I want to extend my platform to you all just as you did to me. And I want to ask the questions. I want to have the conversation. I want to do that as well. Now, that's open to any and everybody. We can get Max on the stream. We can get Rage on the stream. We can get K-Son on the stream. We can get all those guys on the stream. But specifically to the guys that generously offered their platform to me, I want to do the same. I want to do the same. In your time of need, where it's just time for you to get your shit off, I want to be that guy that facilitates that. I appreciate everybody for showing up and showing out. Make sure that bell is on. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Become a member. We got a membership video coming out in the midst of all this. It's holiday season, boy. Santa Claus. He keeps on coming, man.
You can't fool a real nigga. You can fool them. You can fool the people that are not paying attention.
I'll see y'all later, man. Faze up! Fuck, nigga. Lame ass.